What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. Today we've got the final reveals for the Giant Force Rares for Draft Box 6, and yellow looks to be pretty promising. I gotta say, I'm still biased towards blue, but so far we've gotten great unison cards in both red, blue, and green, so hopefully yellow doesn't lag too far behind. Let's go ahead and check this shit out. So first up, we got Metacooler Core, and even though there was nothing Metacooler at all for Draft Box 6, I'm super happy that we got a Metacooler, because just because if Cooler's going to get some support, if it's going to be Metacooler, fine. At least Cooler gets some love, and the Metacooler deck was just fun. I really enjoyed the concept of it. He's got a specified cost of 2, 15,000 power. He's got an activate main that says, once per turn, choose up to one of your Metacooler tokens or yellow Metacooler cards, and he gains blocker until the end of your next turn. So that's pretty cool. You can just sit there and use all your tokens. They have purpose now. Your tokens have purpose now. Your Metacoolers that you can just bring back from the drop over and over and over, they now have a reason to exist. His +1 says, activate main, play one Metacooler token in rest mode. There's your tokens that you're going to use to be blockers for the turn, and I guess it's just kind of funny. His -4 ability says, activate main for 3 yellow and X other energy. If your leader card is yellow, choose up to X of your opponent's cards and switch them to rest mode. That can be terrifying. And again, it's yellow. Run some yellow-blue and just run a little bit of ramp if you can. Though, I feel like Metacooler just doesn't have the room for that kind of stuff. I feel like a lot of decks just don't have the room to be like, hey, let's just splash them ramp. No, if it's not red or your deck isn't ramp, you just don't have the room for it. But this is a really solid leader. I like this a lot. It's not super busted. Its final ability is great, but outside of having a lot of energy to use on it, it's not super overpowered. So that's really cool, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this card in its foil form. Up next, we have Purunga, Giant Force, specified cost of 1, 15,000 power. Permanent says this card can't attack, of course. Look at the beautiful art on this card. Like, this card just looks awesome. I've always been a fan of Purunga. I liked him a lot more than Shenron personally, even though it's weird because I didn't care for Frieza or the Frieza saga as much as like the Cell saga, but I have fond memories of it, you know, because that's what we grew up with, and the Burger King toys. I digress. Activate main says, once per turn, add a marker to this card. Okay, so you just pop and add a marker. -1 says, activate main, choose one, draw one card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, and it can't be switched to active mode until the start of your next turn. I like that. I like that just because you can go, okay, add a marker, okay, take it away, and you don't get to play today. So that's a nice ability. -3 says, activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, negate its skills for the turn, and KO it. So wipe it blank, and then just wipe it straight off the board. Not terrible. I like it. I know none of those Shenron cards can attack, but otherwise, I like this card. Really solid. The art is fantastic, and good control. Either you are choosing a card that they can't switch back to active mode, or you're just blowing it up altogether. So, really solid. Really happy seeing a Purunga card. And finally, we have Bergamo, Giant Force. We saw this one already with the spoilers. He's got a specified cost of 1, 5,000 power. His permanent says this card gets plus 3,000 power for each marker on it. And his auto says, once per turn, when your opponent attacks this card, add a marker to this card. So, he kind of reminds me of the original Bergamo card. Was it the original yellow Bergamo? Or was it the first blue one? I can't remember which one, because I never played Universe 9 stuff, but one of them had an ability that he was like, oh, every time he's attacked, he gains 5,000 power. Wow, this kind of reminds me of that. His +0 ability says, activate main, add a marker to this card. So he's going to add a marker, get a little stronger, a little bit bigger doggy. His -2 ability says, activate main, play up to one skillless battle card or Universe 9 card with energy cost of 2 or less from your deck in rest mode, then shuffle your deck. Now, again, I'm not super knowledgeable on Universe 9, especially because, well, to be honest, when Tournament of Power came out, I only cared about Universe 7. Like, there's nothing in any of the other universes I really give a shit about. I especially don't like Universe 11. I think it was overhyped. Same with Jiren, blah, blah. This isn't really me ranting. I'm just kind of explaining why I don't know shit about Universe 9. I didn't play it. I had a buddy that played Universe 9, and I had a couple that played Universe 2, but outside of Universe 7, I know a good bit about Universe 6, but not the Universe 9 stuff. From what I can tell, getting to play a card with an energy cost of 2, not great. A lot of people seem to be a little less than thrilled with that. More or less preferring for it to be like energy cost of 3, which I can see that, but at the same time, 3 could be too much. Like I said, I don't really know because I don't play Universe 9 stuff, but still seems like it could be a solid card. It's a solid card for skillless for sure, but I also feel like there might be a better one for skillless. If you're running yellow skillless, then you could run it, but I mean, it gets the extra power for having markers on it, but it's not super. It's not a super intimidating card. So, like, you add a marker to it, and he gains a boost. Okay, so he's still weak. So then you just, if it gets attacked to be killed, it'll lose a marker but gain a marker, but then it's going to keep the same amount of points. So, I don't know. I would say out of the 3, between Bergamo, Purunga, and Metacooler, I think Bergamo's the weakest of the 3. Metacooler has some cool potential, no pun intended, but is a little more specific just because his main ability revolves around Metacooler tokens. The activate main, for the most part, still revolves around Metacooler decks, but at the very least, you could just create a token, and it's got combo power, so it's free 5,000 combo power for whatever. So, I mean, you can still have it for some kind of utility. Whereas Purunga, on the other hand, has just straight up some good control abilities. And there's, you know, some utility there with Purunga, so I feel like they're a lot better than Bergamo, personally. I would say this is probably the weakest one out of the bunch. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. Honestly, yellow surprised me a lot more than I thought they would. I expected a Metacooler. I did not expect Purunga, though, and honestly, they're both pretty solid. The more Metacooler stuff comes out, the more I want to just play the deck, just because Metacooler was cool. It was my second favorite movie, you know, back when growing up, after the first Cooler movie. And, like, the archetype is just unique. It's different, and it does things that other decks just don't do, and that's kind of what I like about it. And yellow's gotten a lot of good support. Metacooler has gotten a lot of pretty solid support as well over the years. So I'm going to go ahead and have to say that even though I think Purunga is the best out of the 3 for utility, I still think I like the Metacooler the best. Just thematically and just as far as which one I would play. The Purunga art, I think, looks hella better than any of the other 2. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. How do you feel about the yellow Unison Giant Force cards from Draft Box 6? Do you feel that they have a place in the meta, and do you feel that that they stand tall with all the other cards that we've seen be hyped up so much? I've seen people hyping red and blue, definitely blue because, of course, apes, and then green. Harudigarn has been getting just drooled all over. So where do you think yellow stands? Love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. With that, we're going to go ahead and get the frig out of here, and we'll see you guys in the next video.